Hello guys and welcome back to Full House Sport. Right, it is time for a rant because I'm a passionate cricket fan and it was T20 finals day on Saturday. My home county, Northamptonshire, were there, Hampshire were there, Somerset and Lancashire. Congratulations, by the way, to Somerset for winning that. But how we have allowed finals day, which when I was growing up was a great day in the calendar. I was lucky enough to attend it the year Northamptonshire lost in the final to Lancashire. Not that I'm bitter about that, but it was a fantastic day out. How have we allowed the ECB to ruin it? Because it has been ruined. Games were rain reduced. Obviously, Northamptonshire versus Hampshire was 18 overs each. That's ridiculous. But then you think, well, of course it is, because we're not actually really playing it in the summer. We're playing it in September. Because we're now having to vacate a month for the 100. I attended a 100 game in August. Trent Rockets versus Manchester Originals. It's a great day out. And I understand what they're trying to do. I understand that it's bringing children in. It was great in terms of that aspect, in terms of the family aspect. And you could sort of get it. I got it. The 100 wasn't for people who were already cricket fans like me. It's for trying to get new eyes and ears on the sport. But you've then got to make a decision what you do with the T20 Blast. Do you get rid of it and redo the 100? I think that's the obvious move. Do you say, right, we're going to scrap the T20 Blast, we're going to scrap the 100, and we're going to have a new T20 franchise tournament where maybe the counties that are not got 100, that have not got 100 franchises, they sort of combine or become added in, and they have franchises that represent areas rather than having just city-based franchises. That's one option. Do you keep the 100 but say, another obvious one, is to keep the 100 where it is but not have the Blast finals at the end of the season? For me, it just felt like such an afterthought, and it's disgraceful. There's no other word for it. It is disgraceful what the ECB have done to it. How it has been ruined. You had Bjorn Fortune, I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation there, playing for Hampshire. He had played the night before for South Africa against England. He then went back to play for Hampshire, played 2 games in that day, and then was going to play again for South Africa, I think, the deciding T20. The ECB didn't release England players. So what does that tell you about how they value their domestic competition, the T20 Blast? They don't. Quite clearly they don't, because they're not releasing players to it. Just baffling. Honestly baffling. How this has got away with it. And they're not listening to hardcore fans, because I guess their argument will be, well, you're already in cricket, we want to get new eyes on it. That's fantastic. But it's broken. The schedule is so broken. Keaton Jennings said it, didn't he, before the finals day, that I think he said not ideal was the phrase he used. I mean, that's the understatement of the century from Keaton Jennings there. It's flabbergasting. Utter confusion. You have a group stage of a tournament, you then take a massive 6 or 8 week break, then have the quarterfinals, semi-final and final. Mate, that makes sense. How do you do that? We are the only country that plays the 100 ball format. The only one. And I know people say, oh, but it's bringing in all these sort of new fans. Not new fans, but a lot of fans of the 100 say, well, it's bringing in a lot to English cricket and economy. That's great. You're not telling me that a T20 Franchise League couldn't do that. Yes, you'd probably have to rename teams, but it could do that. And you could include the counties as well. Or, really radical idea, and people say, well, where do you get the money for this from? Why don't you just turn the 18 counties into franchises for that? And almost have a Premier League of cricket? I know the IPL is the IPL, but, you know, could you not turn the 18 counties and say, right, you all get 4 overseas, and then imagine the strength and depth you'd have there? I know people say, oh, but for TV rights, they want every game on television. There's loads of options you could do with that. Could you say to the counties, we'll sell the domestic rights to that separately, so you could get whatever game you want, almost like an NBA TV pass? That, for me, is not too out the realms of possibility. I think the 100 is pretty destined now to become IPL 2.0, Diet IPL. Manchester Originals are now going to become Manchester Super Giants. I think there's other IPL franchises that are looking at buying into it. So you're going to see a drastic change there in the team names and the team branding. So really, what have we achieved from the 100? We've become a diet IPL. Great. Is that an indication of the experiment failing? Is that an indication of that the experiment's growing? I mean, I don't know how they're trying to spin it. There's so much about it that just baffles me and does not sit well with me as a cricket fan. Like I say, I grew up a Northamptonshire fan. I was looking to attend days of my games, with my dad and granddad. You know, it was always accepted that the county's best players would go on to a test match hosting county. David Willey was the one that really hurt me. I know he's back at the county now, but he went away. It was inevitable he would. Ben Duckett, another one. You knew he would go away. Ollie Stone, obviously didn't quite work out for him, but he was one you sort of always knew was going to go away. But now, even some other counties. I talked to a gentleman at Somerset, Northamptonshire last year in the T20 Blast quarter-final, and he was saying how the 100 had just completely scuppered their season because they'd lost their whole first team and essentially had to play their second team in the Royal London One Day Cup. Because you've got so many different competitions going on, what's the point? What's the ECB's priority? Yes, it's probably to get new eyes on the sport. I get that completely. But at what cost? Like, at what cost? Because you're completely undermining your hardcore fans, your cricket fans. And actually, another point, I'm completely ranting now, is are these eyes from the 100 staying on cricket? Are they going to be getting up in the winter to watch the Ashes? Probably not. So actually, what are you doing? You're playing a format that no one else plays with a load of teams that don't actually really support the county game. You're ruining your domestic T20 competition, and your whole justification for this is not actually really effective. I don't know. Let you know what you guys think. It really annoyed me on Saturday watching finals day. It felt like a second-rate competition, and it never used to feel like that when I was growing up, ever. It used to be, I remember it, early morning semi, you'd have a mascot race, Bumble was there. It was a fantastic day. And now it feels like an afterthought, and that is not right. That is not okay. I've gabbled, I've ranted on, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you like the content. Everything you do for me is appreciated. So I'm that wound up. I'm breathing. I'm struggling to get me words out. Just baffling. Really, really annoying. But like I say, let us know what you guys think. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.